There's this guy named Dietrich Bonhoeffer who had this theory about stupidity. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of weird, but bear with me. Bonhoeffer basically said that sometimes the more educated people are, the more stupid they become. Crazy, right? So here's the thing. Education is supposed to make us smarter, right? But Bonhoeffer argues that sometimes all that book smarts can actually make us blind to some pretty obvious stuff, like we get so caught up in our own ideas and theories that we forget to question them. And that's when things start to get messy. Bonhoeffer wasn't just some cranky old philosopher spouting off hot air. He had some solid evidence to back up his claims. Take, for example, the phenomenon of educated ignorance. You've probably seen it before. People who are so convinced they're right that they refuse to even consider other points of view. It's like their brains are stuck on autopilot, and there's no way to change course. Consider this scenario. You're observing a flock of birds, each one flitting about with grace and precision. But then, you notice something strange. Despite their impressive aerial acrobatics, the birds seem oblivious to the approaching storm. It's like they're so focused on their own individual tasks that they've lost sight of the bigger picture. Our brains are wired to seek out patterns and make sense of the world around us. But here's the thing. When we get really into something, like a favorite subject in school or hobby, our brains start taking shortcuts. They're called cognitive biases, and they're basically little cheats that help us process information faster. But here's the catch. These shortcuts aren't always reliable. Sometimes they make us miss important details or jump to conclusions too quickly. It's like our brains are trying to take the fast lane, but they end up taking a wrong turn instead. Take the phenomenon of confirmation bias, for example. It's when we only pay attention to stuff that agrees with what we already think, and we ignore anything that doesn't fit the picture. It's like wearing blinders that only let us see what we want to see. Now, think about those birds we talked about earlier. They're so busy doing their own thing that they totally miss the fact that a storm is brewing. It's like they're so focused on their tasks that they don't notice the big, dark clouds rolling in, where our smarts actually make us kind of dumb because we're too wrapped up in our own ideas to see what's really going on. But it's not just about what we know. It's also about how we think. Our brains are incredibly adaptable, capable of forming new connections and reorganizing themselves in response to new experiences. But when we become too specialized in one area, our cognitive flexibility can suffer, making it harder for us to adapt to new situations. When we learn something new, our brains undergo physical changes through a process called neuroplasticity. But here's the kicker. Neuroplasticity isn't always a good thing. In some cases, our brains can become over-specialized, with certain neural pathways becoming hyper-efficient at the expense of others. This can lead to what neuroscientists refer to as cognitive tunneling, where our thoughts become stuck in a narrow, rigid pattern. So all of this led to one question. Does education breed stupidity? Not exactly. But Bonhoeffer's theory reminds us to think critically about what we know, how we think, and how we behave. True wisdom isn't about having all the answers. It's about being willing to question everything, see things from different perspectives, and keep on learning. After all, the pursuit of wisdom is a journey, one that's best enjoyed with humility, curiosity, and a healthy dose of skepticism.